Welcome everybody, you're watching 𝗵𝗏 Data Science. Today we're doing a quick install of Postgres on a Mac without Homebrew in Google search. Just look for the download of Postgres to Mac. We see the second option, click that. Inside, we'll look at the downloads installer. Click the download installer. It opens up this next page, gives us various options. I'm clicking the newest version of 17.4 at the time of recording. I have a Mac and you see the Postgres installation guide. And we can click that page, click the Mac OS, scroll down, and those two commands we're going to need in the command line later to bind our path. The first command, location of where this is installing with the version, allows us to call the path of Postgres and log in as the user of Postgres. The second one binds the path for us to use it within our terminal. Open the installer, click the download the installer, and just click all the options. These four options are available. If you run into the issues with pgAdmin 4, then you're going to need to uninstall it or uncheck this box right now if you have any hesitancy, because I'm running the latest version of 15 point something for Mac OS, and I encountered an issue during installation. Next, it's creating a data folder to store your data, similar to how we had the MongoDB installation. You need to create a password for your super user for Postgres. The default port is 5432. I don't change anything else. These are the installation locations. Takes a few seconds. It's pretty fast. Finish it up. So just go back to the two commands that we're going to need for the terminal. You see the stack builder. I just uncheck this box because I don't want to deal with that right now to install more things that I just don't need right now. We came back to the page with the two functions that we need to set up. First, we're going to call the folder path of where Postgres is stored. Second, we're going to add the path so we can make calls in the terminal and connect to Postgres. The snippet here is me using the first command and the user of Postgres entering my password, and you'll see Postgres 17.4 is the version I have. I quit out of that and added my path to the terminal using the Vim editor. Afterwards, I closed out of it and re-updated this shell using the word source. There was an issue. I had an extra quotation mark. I got rid of that and updated the file again. At the bottom, you will see the export path that I cut and pasted, changed my version number, saved it to the file, and closed it out. If you're new to Vim, do I for insert, make your changes, press escape, then :W, W to save, Q to quit. I went back into the terminal, ran the above code again to illustrate for you, input my password, got into Postgres, quit. Then the actual terminal commands that I will use now from here on out is the PSQL, and then you can call your user that you're calling and specify any other flags such as your database or any ports or connections that you need if it's not the default. Aside from that, we have a few commands that we could run. If you were in doubt before running these commands, you could have did 𝗵𝗵𝗁 SQL, and it will show you the path if it's installed. You can also run diagnostics to see if Postgres is running in the background or any issues with your connection with this grep command, a ps -ef, and then a pipe, and then grep Postgres, but there's spaces between all of these. Then inside of Postgres, I did a couple of commands, list all of the available databases. We don't have any yet, just the default settings. I can change databases with this command of \c, except there's nothing here to connect to, except the Postgres. We can find database structures with the /d, and then whatever name you provide afterwards, but I didn't provide anything because there's nothing to provide. We can look for views using \dv. We could do the same for tables, just do dt. We have a question mark, and I'll bring up documentation for you to read and understand what's going on. And also you have the \help, which gives you the functions that are available. We can also create our databases now as well. Here's one of the caveats I wanted to mention. pgAdmin for me showed this error. I think it had to do with possible permissions in my device when I installed this the first time and I accidentally turned off applets or widgets or something like that. And ever since, I've had issues, even after reinstall. One workaround to this is going on the actual pgAdmin page, I'll leave a link for it, and downloading it separate from the installation that we just did. But you would need to uncheck the box before you finish installation, otherwise you have to backtrack and get rid of everything. For those of you with issues with pgAdmin for GUI, I'm running Mac OS 15 Plus. Whatever reason it's not working. If you want to do a complete uninstall of what you just installed, feel free to pause the video and use these commands in the terminal. Or you can try to uninstall pgAdmin by itself, which is another option. Use the link that I provide and we'll get the pgAdmin going as well. This is an official post from the GitHub page where people have the similar issue with Postgres cannot work with Sequoia 15.1. I have like 15.4, I think, by now. And the suggestion was to try the official downloader page, which is separate from the EnterpriseDB. And that's what I'm going to do. Here's the official download link. It has various versions depending on what you have. If you look down a little bit, the August 3rd, 2025 version, that's the one I'm going to get. Now let's try to install it. Let's delete this whole thing and start over. Here's the first command. All the commands are in my GitHub, as well as earlier in the video. Pause the video to do all these one by one. Let's get rid of the installer. I want to get rid of this whole application, but don't worry, we have more commands. Look at all these hidden files. Postgres is one of the worst. You see this? We're going to have to come back and get this too. And this. It says it's complete, yet it's not. Here's the next command. Let's remove that whole library. Let's do something real quick. Let's find this Postgres. I don't see it in here. That's a good thing. Let me clean this up. Let's see if we have this app in the _etc paths. Let's check for any history and remove that, as well as if we have this hidden file. Now let's do something real quick. You're going to have to hit go, hit computer, and then open up the library. Scroll down. We go to this stupid Postgres, which is still a folder, right? So let's get rid of this junk too. Let's empty that trash can. Get rid of all this garbage. We don't see, oh, we see something right there. We got to delete that too. You see what I'm saying? This stuff is hidden. I hate dealing with Postgres. All right, so we don't have any instances of Postgres right now. Now let's try this as well. All right, I'm getting rid of this for now as well. We're going to start from scratch. 𝗏_w_q, saving and quitting. Let's go from scratch now. Here's the installation that we're about to do right now. Let me go back because there's something important that we need. We're going to click this right here. So after we download, we click this, go to Mac. We're going to use these to connect with Postgres. This is calling the actual file path and then the user named Postgres. This is just the default that you're setting up. This is binding the path for our environment, and we can use this for calling inside of the terminal. Here's our download. Let's open the installer. So the wizard. Here's the file path that's going to be stored. No pgAdmin, no. What is this stack builder? It wants to install more junk. We don't need this right now. We could leave it clicked. We will use the command line and the server. Here's where the data will be stored in this folder. Create a password for your super user. Here's the default port. I'm not changing this. You can read up on it. Here's all the locations where stuff is going to be stored, blah, blah, blah. Except that's not completely true. We're ready. This is real time, brother. Except I may speed it up. No stack builder. I don't want more of this junk. This stuff running in the background, you could change this. Let's clean up the terminal. Here's the location of where it's stored. Let's run some diagnostics and see if anything is running in the background, which it looks like it is. First thing, let's call the folder path for the user of Postgres, which is your default user. Let's see if it opens up. Looks like we're inside of Postgres, but we have to call it through this. Let's try something else. Let's quit out of it real quick. And this is the 17th edition. And it's in the bin. Press escape, :wq to save and quit. We need to do source, then call the file that we just stored it within to update the terminal. Run the command again, then run this command to update the terminal. Let's clean this up. Next thing, let's install pgAdmin. So here's the pgAdmin. We're installing it separately. Let's download it. I'm getting the ARM version. You also have the Intel version. Now it's installing. It's like, there we are. Now we're good to go. Okay, awesome.